Okay, we have a Shop Dog approved video. I know it's been a little while, but he's been out here with me. So, okay. Today, we've got the engine harness pretty much wrapped up. Don't worry about the battery cables yet. But you can see I did take care of that ground strap that I didn't like. I've got it moved up to a much safer location. You'll notice there's a nice heat shield tube going down for the starter. In fact, you can see it from the side there. Going down, the starter is mounted, and now it's our distribution point. You'll see up here, we've got the alternator all routed. All those wires are run. Let's see. Oh, I was using that as a fish, so don't worry about that one. That's just house wire. Still got to deal with the cowl stuff, but I really want to have power before I go testing that. Let's see, we've got everything routed real nice up this side. And I found some clamps that I really liked for keeping those nice and safe off the headers. You can see they're routed nicely, and now the oil pressure sender and the water temp sender are up in a nice area. So you can see there's just a giant snake of various wires. You know, I try to separate out the looms. I don't actually have them plugged in right now because I was checking for something. But yeah, everything coming together nicely. The radiator was out so I could get that cowl out of the way, and I did put the petcock back in, and then tried fitting. Here's the old hoses. They don't look anything like the new hoses that he bought. This upper is obviously for a stock style intake, so it's a side mount, and with that Dakota Digital sender there, I don't think that's going to work out. Actually, I think that one's the easy EFI sender now that I think about it, but it doesn't matter, it's in the way. The lower, you can see I kind of got it wedged on. It's hard against the frame now, and boy, it kind of misses a little bit. It's got to be a good 6 inches above the outlet, so I'm not sure what we're going to do there, but obviously the hoses that were provided to me are not any good, and they're brand new. I took them out of their fancy wrappers, but yeah, they're not going to work out for us. So I'm going to have to source something myself and figure that out and get that out. But you can see when I lay them against their counterpart, remembering the hoses that were in there did work. So if I go like that, you can see, whoa, those aren't even anywhere even close to the same. Not even close. And these, obviously, it's coming down to a different spot for the thermostat housing. And I'm sure if I dig around, I probably have some factory style thermostat housings, but with the way we have this sender mounted, that's a big can of worms. So that won't be very fun. So I think I would rather source the correct hose. So probably a trip to Napa. You can see down here, starter's mounted and wired. Oh wow, I bet you can actually see it. Yeah, you can see. So that's all in. The O2 sensor is connected. What else? Something else underneath was connected as well. So there's no more wiring under the car. The only real wiring in here is testing it at this point. You know, getting the connectors for the battery and then going circuit by circuit, powering everything up till it all works. I did get the cap rotated the way I wanted it, so it just looks a little nicer. And I'm pretty happy with how all this has come together. Obviously, the bread ties are an extra add-on cost, so I don't think he's willing to pay for those bread ties, so I'll just have to put some nice zippies on there in a little while. Not until everything's been tested, though. And let's see, no real change to the interior, no real changes to anything in the trunk. That's all done. So yeah, once this is all tested and verified, the interior can go back in. some of the missing parts for the stereo stuff is here now, but I'm not too worried about the radio at this point. I just want to get the actual electrical system up and running. So yeah, we've got that. And then I had a bit of bad news today. While we were out working and listening to the radio, the receiver that has been all around the world with me, that I bought in the Marine Corps many years ago in Japan, it let out the magic smoke today. So luckily I was in the shop when it happened so that I could unplug it. But I was listening to something and then it made a funny noise. And I looked over in time to see the magic smoke come out. So it's kind of a sad day. And honestly, considering its age, I don't know that I'm going to bother trying to find parts for it. I'll probably just buy a cheaper setup that's modern, that already does Bluetooth and everything. I don't know. I got to decide. So, yeah, that's today's news. But I definitely wanted to point out that today was an actual honest-to-God ShopDog approved video. He's out here with his water bucket in his bed, and he's being a pretty good boy. So, all right, that's tonight's video.